So this is the end of the road to the finals for Nigeria after losing by 4 goals to 2 on penalties to host nation Morocco. I mean, it's heartbreaking for Nigeria. Unfortunately, they couldn't qualify to the World Cup. They were hoping to win this particular semi-finals and then subsequently qualify to the finals and then win the African Cup to appease their fans. But unfortunately for them, they failed to make it to the finals. Host nation Morocco, they were favourites to win this particular semi-finals. I mean, Eric Chelle, the Nigerian head coach, after the match, he made mention of he made some comments after the game saying he doesn't lose his games during open play. But I mean, even though football is all about 90 minutes, penalties do play a big role in football. If you're unable to win in the 90 minutes, that is why there is penalty. So I don't see why Nigeria should complain about so many things. They did complain about the referee because there was a Ghanaian interest. That is Daniel Nilai. He was a centre man during the Nigerian and Morocco game. People were blaming him, but I think for Nigeria, they played quite a decent game during the semi-finals against Morocco. They played absolutely perfectly. But few things went wrong for them. That is their final touches and finding it difficult to find the back of the net. Looking at the fact that Morocco, they have a very, very strong defensive setup in this particular AFCON. Morocco, they've come a very, very long way in this particular AFCON. You look at the 2022 World Cup where they made it to the semi-finals. They want to make their nation proud by winning the AFCON and then subsequently going to the World Cup that is in 2030. And then 2027, there is another AFCON coming up. So for Nigeria fans, I would say this is the end of the road for you. But I think this is still not the end of the road because you still have a third place to play. That is on the third place to play for the bronze medal against Egypt. In the game between Egypt and then Senegal, there is a whole lot of history coming in between these two teams. Remember, back in 2021, from that side, Egypt, they lost to Senegal, and Senegal winning their second AFCON trophy. This same Senegal side, they also defeated Egypt prior to the 2022 World Cup, as Senegal went to the AFCON, that is the World Cup in 2022, and now in the semi-finals of the AFCON, Senegal has defeated Egypt again. So Sadio Mané, the captain of Senegal, he has also come out to say that the finals of this particular AFCON will be his last AFCON for Senegal. So for Sadio Mané, at least we know he has won the AFCON back in I think 2019, and he hopes to win it for the second time, and then this will be his final AFCON game for the Teranga Lioness. Remember, there is still the World Cup at hand, that is this year later in June. Probably the World Cup could be his final, but this particular AFCON, he came out to say that after the finals, this will be his last. But for Mohamed Salah, I don't even know what to say for Mohamed Salah, because ever since he made his debut for Egypt in 2011. I mean, before 2010, 2011, Egypt has won about 7 AFCON, the most by any African country since he debuted in 2011. Now to 2025, Mohamed Salah has failed to win an AFCON for the Pharaohs of Egypt. But when it comes to club side, he has won almost everything. He has won the Premier League, the FA Cup, the Champions League, all of them. When it comes to his country, unfortunately, he's been unable to win it. But the big question remains: are we going to see Mohamed Salah in the next AFCON? We definitely know that he's going to play in the World Cup coming up later in USA, Canada, and Mexico. That is in June. But the next AFCON will be in 2027. The big question is what lies ahead of Mohamed Salah heading into the third place. He has something. He could win something for the Pharaohs of Egypt. They'll be coming up against Nigeria in the third round. But that is for the bronze medal. But you can share your thoughts with us. That is the finals of the AFCON. Senegal, who are coming up against host nation Morocco. These two teams, they haven't really quite met in an AFCON properly. They've met in World Cup qualifications. Morocco winning some matches, Senegal also winning some matches. So this particular finals will be a big test for the two sides. Senegal, they've won 2 AFCON titles. Morocco, on the other hand, they are looking forward to make that host and win thing in this particular AFCON. They've had quite a decent run when it comes to these two teams, Senegal and then Morocco. Unfortunately, for this particular finals, Senegal are going to miss one of their best defenders, that is Khalid Koulibaly, and he received a yellow card during that semi-finals game. So unfortunately, they are going to miss that sensational defender. He played a part in Senegal reaching the finals of the AFCON. But what the big question remains that who do you think is going to win this particular AFCON? That is Senegal and then Morocco. Senegal, they won the AFCON recently with Sadio Mané leading them, and then Cissé, who happens to be their head coach. He won the first AFCON for Senegal and then coached them to win the second AFCON with Sadio Mané being their captain. For Morocco, on the other hand, they want to rewrite history and going into the World Cup in 2022, where they went to the semi-finals and then they were placed fourth, losing to Croatia for the bronze medal. Now they want to win the AFCON. If they win the AFCON, it's going to be a good one for them heading into this particular World Cup in USA, and then subsequently in the 2027 AFCON. Remember, after this 2027 AFCON, the AFCON format is going to change from the 2-year format to the 4-year format, and then subsequently we could also be having the African Nations League. They're just like the way they have it in Europe, the Nations League. Africa is also going to have its versions of the Nations League. But share your thoughts with us on our media sports, on our YouTube and social media channels. Share your thoughts with us. Who do you think is going to win this particular AFCON finals? And then the third place between Egypt and then Nigeria. Who do you think is going to win? Is it going to be Egypt or is it going to be Nigeria? And so this is our media sports on YouTube. My name is Amos Mama Boy. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like it and share your thoughts, and then share with your friends.